Hello everyone, and welcome to War Thunder Ground Forces. Basically, in this video, I'm going to tell you guys what exactly War Thunder Ground Forces is, how it compares to World of Tanks, and I'll tell you the basics about the play and the controls and all that. So let's get started. Um, War Thunder, similar to World of Tanks, is a World War II tank game, and it's also an airplane simulator kind of game. It actually started off as with airplane simulator. If you like I said, say if you go to Research Tree, you see all these different airplanes, and that's really where it got its start was with different airplanes and stuff. I mean that's this is what it's best known for, and then this is what's the most developed in this game is the aviation part of it. But a few months ago, they introduced the tank battle system. It was in beta for a while. I think about 3 or 4 months ago, they released it to the public, and I've been playing it off and on ever since. Now, what you were gonna see, if it's a tank game, it must be it's like World of Tanks, right? No, it's actually pretty different. I mean, think if you go to Research Tree, you'll see like the similarities. I mean, there are some. I mean, you do have it acts like a regular tech tree into an extent, but in World of Tanks, it's more like you start off with the basic light tank, and you move on to the tank destroyer line or something, and then you just work your way down the tree one by one. And in War Thunder, it works a little bit differently than that. In War Thunder, you are going to start off with the basic light tank as usual, but you have to work kind of sideways. You have to unlock six of the rank one tanks, and after I don't think you have to buy them. You just have to research them. And after you research six tier one tanks, and I think the first tank counts as one, then you can start researching the rank two tanks. But in order to research the next tank in the tree, you have to research the one before it. So it's kind of like you have to research sideways and downwards at the same time. And it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but it doesn't take a whole long time to research multiple tanks. And also, if you take into consideration, there's only 5 ranks in this. So it's like there's only 5 tiers. So that's a little bit different. Um, and then alongside the rank system, there's also a battle rating system. Um, Tanks within the same rank will also have different battle ratings, and that's basically how they balance it out. Because I know some tanks are actually they have better guns, they're more agile, and if they were in place of tanks of the same rank, they might get their butts kicked pretty much. So that's how they balance it out. Like, I think you'll see the Panzer III has a battle rating of 2.3, whereas the Panzer IV, the first one in the line, only has 1.3. So I mean, in other words, the Panzer III is a better tank than the Panzer IV. So in the battle rating, it's going to because how the battle rating works. You will face tiers up to one plus or minus one battle rating. So if you're driving the Panzer III, you will face tanks that have a 3.3 or 1.3 battle rating. If you're a Panzer IV, you only face tanks that have 2.3 battle rating. And as you notice, they can get on the line, so the battle rating can jump. It doesn't really follow an exact pattern, you know. But anyway, um, also another feature in the research tree is you can actually test drive any of the tanks that you've researched or on the ones that are the next in line to research, and you can also test drive any of the premium tanks, which is pretty cool if you wanted to see what the higher tier tanks feel like, but aren't to the higher tier just yet. So that also allows you to test drive tank before you buy it, which is really cool. Um, so how do you research a tank? Basically what happens is, if right now it's not like in World of Tanks where you gain experience points on the previous tank, and then you spend those research points onto packages, and then you can spend them on the next tank in the line. What happens is you actually get points. They're separate that go both into your tank yourself and upgrade your current tank you're driving. And then no matter what tank, then you pick one tank you're on a research. So no matter what tank, so if I drive a Panzer III, if I tell I want to research a Stug 3, if I want to research a Stug, all my experience points that I want to go to research the next tank would go to the Stug 3. So that's a little bit different. But then there's upgrades that you get for driving the tank that only apply to if I right click the modifications and go to that's where you see your packages and modules. I mean, these are all fully unlocked, but you start off with just all these. You have to research all these. But actually, I'll show you in the Panzer III that if I'm still grinding this, you'll see some things are not fully upgraded yet, and so I'll get experience points that just apply to this tank, and just with the ranking system for the tanks, you have to research two modules before you can rank 1 before you can research and buy rank 2 modules, and the same thing with rank 3 and rank 4. So, while we're on this screen, some things are different. Is that in all the tanks, you start, a lot of times you start off with a tank that has a bad engine, and you have a bad turret. I mean, usually, like a lot of times, you'll upgrade every single part of the tank. You upgrade, the suspension, the turret, the gun, and everything. War Thunder is a little bit different. In War Thunder, you start off with basically the tank you're gonna be driving with, but you won't have all the ammunition types unlocked. You actually have to research the ammo types, and so you have to research HPCR and all that. But the HPCR ammo or heat ammo doesn't cost. I think that the cost is similar to what you actually spend on regular ammunition. So it's just an upgrade to your tank. It's not. You're not using gold or anything to buy your premium. There's no premium ammunition in the game. It's just better ammunition for different situations because the reason for this is you can actually over-penetrate tanks. So it's not just like, well, the higher penetration is better penetration. Well, that's not the case in World Tanks. I mean, if you have a penetration of 92 millimeters, but your tank you're facing only has 23 millimeters, then you might go through it, and you might do very little damage. But so you actually have to pay attention. Is it a good time to use my high explosive ammo? Is it a good time to use my armor piercing ammo? So, what's another cool feature is you actually tells you the distances. You see over here 100 meters, my penetration drops down to 58 meters. At 500 meters, it drops down to 48 millimeters of penetration. So, anyway, so that's that. And then you can spend, your gold on your back, so you can have additional vehicle and stuff while you're playing. And so that brings me on to some of the differences you'll see in the game. War Thunder, the biggest difference you'll see from World of Tanks is the fact that you can respawn. When you die, you're not out of the battle. You're not completely toast. At least not in arcade. I mean, there's different types. I mean, you have arcade, realistic, and simulator. In realistic and simulator, if you die, then you're out of the battle. But if you are driving arcade battles, you can respawn. So that's pretty cool. So, and I think you can respawn like up to 5-6 times. I mean, you can keep going until you lose objectives. Because in War Thunder, it's kind of like a battlefield system, whereas you have the blue and red bars up here and on top, and then as you're playing, because you're capturing objectives. That's the goal of this game, just to capture objectives, and then depending on who has most objectives captured, then the other team will lose points, and those points go to how many respawns you have left for your team. So that's basically how that works. A couple more features I want to talk about while I'm here on the screen is that there is a customization system that's pretty cool. You can have custom camos. I mean, I won't go into how exactly you do that here, but basically what you do is you have to create a skin template for your tank by clicking on the magic wand button right here, and then you have to go to your game files, and then you have to take a camo pattern and apply it to your tank. And it's really not that bad, not hard to do, but that's not the purpose of this video. One thing I do want to say though is that custom camouflages are not seen by anybody in your team. It's just seen by you. It's just like a cosmetic thing. But there are standard camouflages you can buy, like winter camouflages and stuff for your tanks, or they can unlock, and those can be seen by everybody. Decals you can get are seen by everybody, and there's decals that are free, some decals you have to pay for. I think decals are pretty cool and what they did in this game because it's not like World of Tanks where it's just you have to pick, okay, you want the one on the right side or one on the left side or the one on the front. Basically, you can just click on the decal that you've unlocked and just paint it pretty much onto your tank, and then you can like by holding the shift or alt button, you can increase the size or you can rotate it. So that's pretty cool. But so that's the basic overview of the modifications or the customization system. And then you have a crew system, which in World of Tanks you had a perk system where if you like given additional perks and leveling up your crew, you can get make your crew better that way. Well, instead of like leveling up your crew, making them 100% and then giving them perks, you basically get crew points that you can put into your different crew. So, and then you just and they all members of your crew had the same three to begin with. You have keen vision, field repair, and vitality. Then they all have a few unique ones themselves. Like the driver will get tank driving and people points in tank driving, you'll become better at braking and switching gears and stuff. And then gunner gets targeting and range fighting, and tank commander gets leadership, and then tank handler gets reloading, and etc. etc. And then after you get 100 ranks in a crew, you can move them to a different tank that's of a similar class. So that's it for the crew training, and that's really all there is to that's the basics of this. And now I guess one more thing I should talk about is how does silver and gold equate? Um, the silver is silver lions, and gold is golden eagles. I mean, it's simple as that. There's premium accounts, but I want to show you the pricing for the golden eagle so you can have an idea of how much gold cost. So 2,500 gold is equivalent to $14, and then if you go and I'll show you the premium cost, how that relates to the premium account. Premium account for a month is 2,000 gold eagle. So if 2,500 is 1,400, or $14, then you're gonna be spending about $10 or so for a month's worth of premium account. And premium account gets you 200% RP, and so you get double so you get double the rank points, so you can unlock the next tank faster and upgrade your own tank faster, and you get either 50% more or 100% more silver for completing objectives and killing people or killing tanks in battles. So that's kind of worth it. And you also get additional decal slots. You can increase the squads because if you're using a free account, you can only have 2 players in your squadron or squads, and then if you have you have premium account, you have more than that. So that's that. And I think the next thing I want to do is I want to show you I'm going to test drive a tank. I want to show you what's all and I'm going to I'm going to use I haven't played with BT7 yet, so I'm going to right click on that, hit go test drive, and then just because I don't have any modifications or anything. Now let's you can say difficulty level you want, arcade or realistic simulator. I'm gonna keep it arcade because that's just what this review is about. Pretty much is arcade to get you into the game and get a feel for it. Hit OK, and then you can play. And then I'm going to use my Xbox controller for the game. And while this is loading, basically the War Thunder senses your Xbox controller. I'm using the wireless adapter, but you can also use a corded controller, and it recognizes it. So you don't even have to do much setup, but you can change the buttons to whatever you want to do. So if you don't like, if you don't like the way it controls are set up, you can change them to your preferences. So it's pretty cool. So starting out, the right stick is your view, is your view. So you turn your turret left and right. This is generally how World of Tanks works, and on the 360, and same thing of moving. using your stick, or using your left stick moves your tank around. From what I heard, I mean, I play mostly arcade battles, but the movement in arcade battles is different than simulator battles, so it's a little more clunky, it's not realistic. So I think you're going to be doing more power slides and stuff. But it's a little harder to drive the tanks in this game than it is in World of Tanks, because World of Tanks, is more arcadey, and it's generally just, you'll run into these problems where, if you push a stick too hard to the left or right, then you're going to do power slides and stuff, so. Anyway. Our controls, right now, if you hold in the left trigger, you will zoom in. Then if you push the right stick, then you fire a shell. Fire your gun. RB will also do the same thing. So if we go back to the tank and hit RB, and also fire the gun. If I press X, you will go, and this is called the commander's view. If you're playing realistic or simulator battles, this is what you'll see. There is no third-person view in simulator battles. So there's that. X also allows you, if you have the artillery unlocked, if you press X, you will get because there's no actual artillery vehicles in the game, but you can you can call in for AI artillery. That's how you use it, is X. You'll see a little icon down by the ammo down there. You'll see an option to select the artillery. Y is your sniper view. If you press the Y button, then if you press the left trigger, that allows you to zoom in. Then I can fire my gun and kill some tanks. I caught them on fire. So basically, that's just pretty cool. If you're on the range, there's different tanks at different tiers. I mean, you start off with because that tank was actually the first tank you get on the German side, and then you start off with, the farther you go down, the harder tanks are to kill, basically. Ever controls. So really, I mean, A is used for repairing your tank. So if you hit a rock or something, you damage your tracks, you hold an A, you'll start repairing your tank. But generally, if you have limited movement, limited functions when you're repairing your tank. So plan accordingly. And it's also used for fire extinguishers when you get those unlocked for your tank. So, speaking of which, fire extinguishers, fire extinguishers do not work like they do in World of Tanks. Fire extinguishers are considered a consumable you have to buy after every battle and stuff. Fire extinguishers are actually, you get those in the research tree, and after you get them, you have them. So, and that's really it for controls. I mean, B will pull up your map while you're playing, so you see your primary goals and secondary goals, any objectives. And the back button will pull up. Well, the back button in the test drive will pull up the map menu as well. But in the actual game, you'll see list of players and list of tanks that are playing with you. So, and the only thing your controls are left to do is your directional pad will select the type of ammo you want to use. So. But now I'm going to finish off these few tanks. Missed that one. His track. Never said I was an expert at this game. Suspension. There we go, Immeract him. Alright, moving on. Panther here. So one thing I want to talk about when I'm shooting this Panther is that there is no health bars in the War Thunder. You don't see any health bars in my tank. So basically, how they determine when a tank's dead is module damage and whether or not your crew's dead or not. Once your crew's, well, I think once soon as your commander is dead or all your crew's dead, then your tank's out of the game. So you have to go back to the prep menu and pick the next tank you want to play with, and for that battle. And he's toast. You want to kill Tiger too. This is where you hit him. No, you never would face a Tiger 2 with this tank. I don't think he's dead yet. Do this and watch shot the every day. Come on, kill the tank. There we go. What's left? Oh, yeah, I'm like a Pantry that Jagdtiger. Jagdtiger is the top of the line tank. It's especially, I mean, I can do it all day. I mean, we have about hit his only thing I'll be able to hit is his radiator. So yeah, I ain't gonna do anything to him. Anyway, but that is the first look at for you guys at War Thunder. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope I gave you. Hopefully, it was informative enough to see what this is like. So, Creepy signing off. Take it easy.